Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and we're at the finish line of the 2016 The North Face Endurance Challenge 50-mile championships. I'm with men's third place finisher David Laney. Dude, you took third.
Thanks.
How do you feel?
Yeah, not too bad. Kind of tired, but.
You have a few blisters.
Ooh, yeah. But they'll be okay.
Aside from
Nothing like a 100-mile blister. Just a little half blister.
It's a half blister.
Yeah.
You've kind of been laying low since UTMB. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
What's been going on in your world since we saw you there?
Yeah, I took like some real downtime for the first time in a while. I got a semi-permanent apartment, or 3-month sublet, which is permanent. Feels permanent to me.
Which you identify as semi-permanent.
Yeah.
We have a ridiculous Jamil Curry challenge going on in the background right now, so it's like 90% distracting.
Oh, there's clothes coming off.
Anyhow, so you moved into an apartment in Ashland.
Yeah.
Took some time off after UTMB. You felt like you needed it.
Yeah, I think so. Last year after UTMB, I didn't really take time off, and I felt terrible for like 9 months straight. And so this time I just took 2 weeks off, and then at the end of 2 weeks I felt not that terrible, and then just slowly built back up, and then decided to do this like a month ago.
Do you feel like the tipping point for signing up for this was that you felt like you're back to yourself, or back to where you at least you thought you could be competitive here? Or?
Yeah. I felt like I did like a couple of longer runs, and and a couple of workouts, and I felt good enough to like actually start training. And, yeah.
I think like that position is not an unfamiliar position for a lot of younger runners who decide to move up to the 100-mile distance where suddenly there's this new kind of fatigue that's really
exactly
like you're used to being able to recover in a week or two, but suddenly you're doing something that requires more. What kinds of things have you learned about yourself from this time?
Yeah, I think that's totally true. Like the different types of fatigue. Like I could go out and do a 10-mile run at or even a workout. But then once you get into like 20 or 30-mile long run, it's just like a different kind of fatigue. When you wake up in the morning, you can tell like you feel like you got hit by a bus. Like it's just different. And the recovery time's shorter. Climbing's terrible. Like you can just tell when you're not after 100 when you're not ready to run again.
Do you feel like you were, because a lot of people will say that they'll kind of like get stuck in that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to identify the difference between like that kind of deep-seated fatigue and like lack of fitness.
Right.
Or you feel like, I need to train because I feel like crap when I'm running, when you really probably need to rest.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it comes out like, emotion like rules what you do, but it needs to be logic. Like, well, I'm not out of shape because these are I've been running this much, and like, I'm not out of shape. I'm overtrained or not properly recovered or whatever. Or I ran 100 miles 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I ran for 20, not even 100 miles, 23, 20 some hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just have to like, especially a race like that, like take and that's a mistake I learned. Like, I'm not saying I knew this. Like, obviously last year I didn't know it.
Yeah.
So something to learn from.
So talk about like that turning point for you this fall where you felt like you were coming back around, and what was happening like in your workouts and your runs where you're like, okay, I think I can like put in a little bit more force.
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to go running.
Okay.
I just decided after UTMB, I was like, I'm not going to run until I really want to go.
Okay.
And like 10 days later, I was like, I feel like, so I did some easy runs, and then pretty quickly after that, I really wanted to go. And, I was like, had trained long days all summer. So I still had that like UTMB fitness and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go away that quick. Like,
Yeah.
taking
People
a 2-week break, it's not gonna.
right?
2 weeks is not gonna do anything. Like, you'll be fine. Yeah, you're still fit. You're just resting.
Your endurance is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this race. You took it out at like quintessential Laney style, right?
Yeah.
Intentionally, I presume.
Yeah.
Were you marking people by reports of time back, or were you just trying to run easy? Or
Yeah, just run easy. I feel like I had the effort, like kind of where I know I should be, and where I can eat this much food. I know that's like a certain effort for me. So I was eating well, everything was going well, but I was like 12 minutes back or something.
Yeah.
And in 20th or 18th or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like I like most of these races, like if you look at what people have done, like you get an idea of how much it slows down. I mean, I was slowing down. Everyone slows down.
Yeah.
If you can just not slow down as much as
everybody else. But I think there's like legitimate fear in people to go out conservative.
Right.
Like to go out too conservative and feel like they're gonna lose too much contact and never be able to get it back.
Yeah.
Like, do you just at this point have faith?
No. Just science.
Okay, just science. Okay.
I mean, like
this isn't religious, people.
I mean, yes, to some extent. Like I do. Like I have like an idea. Like this is what I think I can do. And, like I believe that I can run hard the last 15 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do believe in that, but like one of the guys from Portland, the Jacuzzi Boys Athletic Club, this guy named Scott, who's like really smart, like math stats guy, did like a graph of the top 20 places of last year's race, against their average pace with the climbing and all that, and it was just like so clear, like this is what happens.
Okay.
And if you cannot do that, right. And so if you just have like the basic stats of the race, and that's what I do after a lot of races. Like look at the splits. Like this is what you did. I'm not that good at math, but when it's USA Today math, I can figure it out.
My last question for you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on 2017? What are you
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a lot of things I really want. Oh, there's like 100 things on the calendar.
Okay.
And then I'm realizing I can't do all of them.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Undecided.
Yeah.
You're not going to
Hopefully
quit running and take up golf, are you?
I've never played golf except for putt-putt. And I'm terrible. So I can't imagine I'd be good on a bigger scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still going to run?
Yeah,
You
probably.
just haven't. Okay.
Who knows?
To be determined.
Beautiful day.
On that note, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Congratulations on your podium finish.
Thanks.
Yeah. Super solid day.
Thanks for doing everything. Coverage well. It's awesome.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks.